It's time now for the VIC Crime Watch for the week ending November 4th, 2022. We begin in Jamaica with the story of Rushane Patterson, who was named a person of interest on October 22nd in the death of social media influencer Anika Slickiana Townsend. Townsend's body was found floating in the sea off the coast of Reading in the parish of St. James the day prior. Patterson, 33, had been evading police since October 25th when he was requested to turn himself in. On November 1st, an attorney contacted law enforcement to inform them that he would do so on Thursday of this week, but officers, not wanting to gamble on whether he would show up or not, arrested him early Wednesday morning at a guest house in the parish of Hanover. Although Patterson has not yet been charged in connection with Townsend's death, he will have to fight charges of abduction and assault relating to an unrelated 2018 incident that involved an ex-girlfriend. Reports are that on Boxing Day of that year, December 26th, he asked his ex to meet him at a gas station. She got into his car and then he reportedly confronted her with a photo of her new partner and questioned her about her sexual activities. He reportedly accused her of working with the police, drove off with her against her will, stopping only to choke and hit her about the body. He then reportedly attempted to extort cash from her, demanding she withdraw funds from the ATM, and when she refused, Patterson reportedly threatened to kill her and dispose of her corpse. The woman was apparently able to get away by convincing him that she would not report the incident, but after she was released, she went to the police. Earlier in 2017, Patterson was freed of rape, abduction, and murder charges stemming from allegations that in February 2013, he abducted and raped a woman and killed her partner. Radio Jamaica reports that the woman pointed Patterson out in a lineup, saying that he was one of the men who stopped her and her partner, Andre Roberts, while they were out walking in the wee hours of the morning. Roberts was placed in the trunk of the men's vehicle and was killed while trying to escape. The woman said she was taken to another location, raped, and then her throat was slashed, and she was left for dead. Miraculously able to survive, the woman reported the incident and identified Patterson after he was picked up by police in 2014. However, the case fell apart after she did not show up to court to testify after her alleged attacker, to testify against her alleged attacker, and Patterson walked free. In this most recent arrest, Patterson's attorney has come out with claims that her client was assaulted by officers of the Jamaica Constabulary Force in an incident that damaged a mobile phone she said contained evidence key to his defense. Michelle Thomas also claims that Patterson was questioned without her being present to keep an eye on proceedings. Still in Jamaica, a mother is now in police custody after her son, for whom she stood surety, skipped out on his trial on Wednesday. Supreme Court Judge Leighton Pusey said he hoped Simeon Sutherland's love for his mother would lead him to turn himself in, as a manhunt was launched to find the murder accused. Sutherland is defending against charges of murder and misprision of a felony relating to the 2019 homicide of parliamentarian Dr. Linville Bloomfield. The People's National Party Member of Parliament for Portland East was found stabbed to death at his Pasley Gardens home on the morning of February 2nd of that year, and Sutherland was arrested days later and released before being re-arrested when forensic evidence reportedly placed him at the crime scene. He was assessed bail in the sum of 800,000 Jamaican dollars, approximately 5,100 US, was required to report to police daily, and had his travel documents confiscated. Bail conditions also included a curfew order, a requirement to live with his parents, and an order to stay out of the parish of Portland for the duration of the matter. On Wednesday morning, Sutherland and his parents joined defense attorney King's Counsel Peter Champagny and headed to the Supreme Court for the start of his judge-only trial. However, Sutherland vanished after leaving the vehicle they had been traveling in. Champagny, before announcing his intention to fire Sutherland as a client, said that the parents of the murder accused would customarily let their son out at the front of the courthouse before going to find a parking spot. When it had become clear that Sutherland had absconded, his mother was taken into custody, where Justice Pusey said she will remain until, quote, arrangements are made in relation to the bond. Meanwhile, officials at the island's ports of entry have been placed on high alert for Sutherland. In Grenada, authorities are reportedly waiting for 60-year-old Godfrey Simeon to be released from hospital to charge him for the gruesome murder of his former partner, Sharon Andrea Williams. Williams, 48, was beaten and chopped to death outside her home on Monday, October 31st, following an altercation between herself and the Simeon. A Good Samaritan who attempted to intervene on Williams' behalf sustained injuries, including a dislocated shoulder. Simeon himself was injured in the incident and after fleeing the scene was subsequently discovered by police bleeding from his arm, after which he was taken to hospital. The bystander who had tried to help was also hospitalized and was reportedly discharged on Tuesday. Police are awaiting the results of a post-mortem to determine Williams' official cause of death. However, initial observations of her body reveal significant blunt force trauma to her head. In Trinidad, the Rose Hill RC Primary School in Laventille has been closed since Monday after students and teachers were caught in the crossfire of a shootout between rival gangs in the area. Shocking video footage surfaced earlier this week of a teacher recording herself and her students taking cover in a classroom as the sound of gunfire echoed through the hallways. The teacher could be heard instructing her young charges to get down and remain quiet, while shots rang out from all directions and the children covered their eyes and ears in fear. On Wednesday, the Ministry of Education approved the temporary relocation of the school to the St. Dominic's Children's Home in Belmont. However, some parents have already withdrawn their children from the institution. Catholic Education Board of Management CEO Sharon Mangru says she is hoping school can resume at its new location by this coming Monday. She spoke to reporters from Guardian Media saying that the traumatized teachers are understandably reluctant to head back into the classroom. They have asked for police presence when they relocate to St. Dominic's. The school did attempt to hold online classes after the closure of the physical facility, but Mangru said attendance was below half of enrolled students. In St. Lucia, an 11-year-old reported bragging about having a, quote, sugar daddy has led to the arrest of an officer of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. According to local news outlet NBC, the man was charged with sexual intercourse with a minor after an alarmed teacher heard the girl's boasts and made a report to police, triggering an investigation. Reporting from NBC is that the 7-year veteran of the RSLPF met his victim while he was in a relationship with the girl's grandmother. The arrest comes weeks after the island's first female police commissioner announced a zero-tolerance policy for sex crimes committed by members of the force.
When it comes to sexual harassment or sexual offenses, we are presently putting a policy in place to deal with this. But as it relates to these matters, we will deal with it the same way we deal with all of the sexual offenses. As I've said it before, we have a unit, the Vulnerable Persons Unit team, made up competent staff that can deal effectively with offenses as it relates to sexual harassment or sexual offenses. I can tell you, I have zero tolerance for sexual harassment or sexual offenses, be it within the organization or out. And the same approach I'm going to have adopted for offenses out of the organization.